Welcome to our exploration of why discipline fails most people and what actually works instead. Many of us have tried to force ourselves into routines, only to fall off track and feel frustrated. Today we'll dive deep into the reasons discipline doesn't stick for most and uncover practical alternatives that lead to lasting change. Let's start by understanding the common misconceptions about discipline and why it's often seen as the ultimate solution for personal growth. Discipline is often defined as the ability to control one's actions, emotions, and thoughts to achieve a goal. It's portrayed as a force that pushes us to do what's necessary even when motivation fades. But is discipline really the magic ingredient for success? Many believe that with enough discipline, anything is possible. However, this belief overlooks the complexity of human behavior and the challenges we face in maintaining consistent habits. Myth of discipline suggests that willpower alone can drive change. We're told to simply push harder, resist temptation, and stay focused. But in reality, most people struggle to sustain discipline over time. Life gets busy, stress builds up, and old habits resurface. This myth creates unrealistic expectations and often leads to disappointment when we inevitably fall short. Discipline fails for most people because it relies heavily on willpower, which is a limited resource. When we're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, our ability to stay disciplined drops significantly. Instead of blaming ourselves, it's important to recognize that discipline alone isn't sustainable. Understanding the limitations of willpower can help us seek better strategies for lasting change. Our environment plays a huge role in shaping our behavior. When our surroundings support our goals, it's easier to stay on track. Conversely, a distracting or stressful environment makes discipline much harder. Instead of relying solely on willpower, adjusting our environment can make positive habits almost automatic. Habits are powerful because they require less conscious effort. When a behavior becomes a habit, it's easier to maintain over time. Building habits involves repetition and consistency, not just discipline. By focusing on small, repeatable actions, we can create routines that stick without relying on willpower. One of the most effective ways to create lasting change is through identity-based habits. Instead of focusing on what you want to do, focus on who you want to become. When your actions align with your desired identity, change feels natural and sustainable. This approach shifts the focus from discipline to self-image. Systems are structured processes that make desired behaviors easier. Instead of relying on discipline, create systems that guide your actions. For example, meal prepping, scheduling workouts, or setting reminders are all systems that support your goals. Systems reduce friction and make positive behaviors more automatic. Having a support network can make a huge difference. When friends, family, or colleagues encourage your efforts, it's easier to stay motivated. Social support provides accountability and helps you overcome setbacks. Instead of relying solely on discipline, lean on your community for encouragement and guidance. Self-compassion is crucial when discipline fails. Instead of harsh self-criticism, treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Recognize that setbacks are normal and part of the process. Self-compassion helps you bounce back and stay committed to your goals, even when things don't go as planned. Intrinsic motivation comes from within. When you genuinely enjoy an activity or find it meaningful, it's easier to stay consistent. Discipline is less necessary when motivation is strong. Focus on finding activities that align with your interests and values to make lasting change more enjoyable. Setting clear, specific goals helps guide your actions. Vague goals make it harder to stay focused and disciplined. When you know exactly what you want to achieve, it's easier to track progress and stay motivated. Break down big goals into smaller steps for better results. Tracking your progress keeps you accountable and motivated. Whether it's a journal, app, or checklist, monitoring your actions helps you see improvement over time. This feedback loop encourages consistency and makes it easier to adjust your approach when needed. Celebrating small wins boosts motivation and reinforces positive behavior. Recognize your achievements, no matter how minor. This practice helps you stay engaged and makes the journey more enjoyable. Discipline becomes less important when you're excited about your progress. Failure is a natural part of growth. Instead of seeing it as a setback, view it as a learning opportunity. Analyze what went wrong and adjust your approach. This mindset shift helps you stay resilient and committed even when discipline falters. Building routines makes positive behaviors automatic. Start with simple actions and gradually add complexity. Routines reduce the need for discipline by making desired behaviors part of your daily life. Consistency is key to making routines stick. Identify and remove barriers that make positive behaviors difficult. Whether it's distractions, lack of resources, or negative influences, clearing obstacles makes it easier to stay on track. This approach reduces reliance on discipline and increases your chances of success. Enjoyment is a powerful motivator. Find ways to make your desired behaviors fun or rewarding. When you look forward to an activity, discipline becomes less necessary. Experiment with different approaches until you find what works for you. Having an accountability partner can boost your commitment. Share your goals with someone who will check in and encourage you. This external support makes it easier to stay consistent and overcome challenges, reducing the need for discipline. Flexibility is important when discipline fails. Adapt your strategies to fit your current circumstances. If something isn't working, try a new approach. Being flexible helps you stay engaged and avoid burnout. Shifting your mindset from discipline to growth can make change easier. Focus on learning, improvement, and progress rather than perfection. This mindset encourages persistence and reduces the pressure to be perfectly disciplined. Rest and recovery are essential for sustained progress. When you're well rested, it's easier to stay consistent and motivated. Overworking leads to burnout and makes discipline harder to maintain. Prioritize rest to support your goals. Momentum is created by taking consistent action. Start small and build up gradually. Each success makes the next step easier. Momentum reduces the need for discipline by making progress feel natural and effortless. Personalize your approach to fit your unique needs and preferences. What works for one person may not work for another. Experiment with different strategies and find what suits you best. Personalization increases enjoyment and sustainability. Adopt a long-term perspective for lasting change. Focus on gradual improvement rather than quick fixes. Sustainable progress comes from consistent effort over time, not bursts of discipline. Patience and persistence are key. Self-awareness helps you understand your strengths and weaknesses. Reflect on your habits, triggers, and motivations. This insight allows you to make informed choices and adjust your strategies for better results. Perfection isn't necessary for progress. Embrace imperfection and allow yourself to make mistakes. This attitude reduces pressure and makes it easier to stay consistent. Progress is more important than perfection. Instead of relying on discipline, use practical alternatives like habit stacking, environmental design, and social support. These strategies make positive behaviors easier and more enjoyable. Experiment with different approaches to find what works best for you. To sum up, discipline fails most people because it relies on limited willpower and ignores the complexity of human behavior. Sustainable change comes from building habits, creating supportive environments, and using practical strategies. Focus on systems, identity, and enjoyment to make lasting progress. Lasting change is possible when we move beyond discipline and embrace smarter strategies. By understanding our limitations and leveraging practical tools, we can create routines that stick and enjoy the journey. Remember, it's not about forcing yourself, it's about making change easier, more enjoyable, and sustainable.